bottoms of the feet. So I have a massage roller, I have an AccuBack and a little AccuBall. If you don't have any of these, grab yourself a tennis ball, a golf ball, a lacrosse ball, anything you can get your feet on. And then when you're ready, just drop those down onto the floor and start out by rolling out one of your feet and just kind of wiggle around under your toes, the ball of the foot, work through that center part and inner outer edge of the foot. Don't be discouraged if you hear some cracking or popping, if it feels kind of like gravel under the bottom of your foot. In yoga, we're constantly standing on our feet, yet we continually neglect them. And so by rolling out your foot, you're breaking up the fascia in the foot and helping you to utilize the foot more fully and completely. And when we walk around in casts all day, aka your shoes, it gets really hard for those muscles and those tissues to be fully utilized. And then make sure you get the heel as well. Now, as you do this, your foot may be a little sensitive, and that's okay. If you struggle with plantar fasciitis, if you have tight calves, if you get IT or hamstring pain, lower back pain, you should be doing this on a regular basis. All right, before we switch feet, I want you to plant the ball of the foot on the ground and the ball underneath your heel. We're gonna do what's called a heel grind, and all you're gonna do is lean into that ball and grind your heel side to side as hard as you can. So if you ever followed reflexology, the heel is kind of the pelvic hip area. So if my heels are hurting, I know my hips might be a little off. And then once you've done that, feel free, if you really like this, just pause me and rejoin when you're ready. I want you to roll through the center of the foot from heel to ball of foot or ball to heel, whatever you prefer, and really find those kind of areas that almost take your breath away, and then stay there and hold if you need to. Your plantar tendon is running down the center of your foot, so we're trying to release some of that. And then once you've done that, 3 or 4 or 5 times, anchor the heel of the foot on the ground, and with that ball just behind the ball of the foot, you're going to wave your foot, keeping your heel in place. So you're just going to go side to side. And again, you might have some areas that are more tender than others. Do not be dismayed. Do not be discouraged. If you feel like this is really sensitive, it isn't hard. It's sensitive. Your feet aren't used to this. They haven't been stimulated. This is not the impossible. This is not advanced yoga, okay? You're just not used to this. And then once you're done, step down, and you should notice that one foot feels dramatically different than the opposite. If anything you've done today, this is going to be the most productive thing that you've done. Now, same thing on the opposite side. Just start out by rolling your feet around and giving your feet that nice wake-up call. What if you did this every morning when you got out of bed? What if you had one of these guys underneath your desk, or when your boots came off at the end of the day? You could do this while you're watching TV, typing, scrolling Facebook, watching my videos but not doing them. Anything is better than nothing. Okay, once you've done that and gave that foot a little love, let's start out with that heel grind. So my ball's rolling away. Ball of the foot on the floor. Put pressure as much as your body can handle. I do this a lot, so I've worked my way up to it. You're gonna roll that heel side to side. Now the ball might move because it's a ball, and so just kind of roll with it. And just gonna kind of readjust it here. So just nice calm breathing. Try not to hold your breath. If you hit a sweet spot, try to explore that a little bit more. Your feet are really happy that you're doing this right now. And as we break up all of that tight tissue, you may want to try some type of an anti-inflammatory, maybe my Stiff Mother Trucker Pain Relief Cream or something else, or ice bottles afterwards if your feet aren't used to this type of stimulation. Okay, now we're gonna go down that plantar tendon. So from heel to ball of foot, press and roll. All that snap, crackle, pop starting to happen. And so the important thing is, and to remember, is that the bones in your body, is it that they're going out of place, or is it that the tissues are not letting them go back into place? So if you're going to the chiropractor, let's say, and you keep going back and it's like a revolving door, maybe you aren't doing the work in between to help release and alleviate the tissues. I say tissues because it's not just muscle. It's fascia, ligaments, connective tissue, the whole ball of wax. That is the problem. And creating new pathways, new ways of doing things. Okay, once you've done that, heel on the floor. Remember, we're waving now. So you're going to wave the ball of the foot side to side. This one always gets my feet cracking and popping. This feels so good. Remember, it's not painful, it's stimulation, it's different, it's sensation. And then, move that ball off to the side gladly, right? Once you've done that, just stand at the center of your mat and just notice your feet. Lift up your toes, spread them wide. Notice your feet and just how much more connected they are to the ground. What if you did this every day for a week? How much different would your feet feel? I know mine start to crave it if all of a sudden I don't do it for a couple of days. All right, so we're going to focus a little bit on balance. You may need a chair. So if you do, just set that chair over on the left side, and that way then you have the chair for support, or if you can just turn and use the wall, that would be acceptable as well. All right, as you stand nice and tall, my feet are forward. I'm going to line up the outer edges of the feet with the outer edges of the mat. Now this may make you feel like your arches are collapsing and you're knock-kneed. It's not your feet's fault. Please do not adjust your feet to adjust your legs. We're going to adjust the legs and show you how to have more of a leg neutral position, which is going to lift and activate the arches in your feet and also help stimulate all the muscles in your legs and those booty muscles, which the glutes are the shelf for the lower back. So if you have lower back pain, you may not be using your glutes properly. Okay, so lift up the toes, just spread them nice and wide. Line up the outer edges of the feet with the outer edges of the mat, or if you're not on a yoga mat, find a straight line, the wall, a line on the floor, something. Let your feet be as they are and just look. For me, I notice that my inner ankles collapse just a little bit, and I am just slightly then a little bit more flat-footed in my right foot than my left. We're not going to move the legs at all, or the feet, sorry, but we're going to externally rotate the legs. So that means the thigh bone in its hip socket is going to move. If I grab my hands onto my thighs, just have a very soft knee, not bent, not locked, just soft, and roll the thighs out, keeping the balls of the feet connected to the floor. That means the big toe, the whole ball of the foot, inner and outer heel all stay connected. I'm not going to press to the outside edges. And I roll my thighs externally. Instantaneously, I feel my glute muscles contract. Yay! Let's all clap. And as you do that, now your hip flexors are stretched, your glutes are contracted, and the pits of your knees, those vertical lines, are pointing towards the wall behind you. This is called leg neutral. When we're in this, our muscles automatically turn on. So if people are constantly telling you, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the glutes, they're missing a step, okay? You shouldn't have to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze constantly. Some exercises, yes. But this is an exercise that you can do doing the dishes, in the grocery line, when you're standing and talking on the phone, in the shower, and nobody's gonna know. But you're going to start to build that booty strength. So you should feel instantaneously those glute muscles kick in without having to squeeze, all from that leg rotation. Work in progress. But once you've done that, feel the weight even on both feet. Your chair is there for you without leaning. Belly is strong, pelvis is tipped level. See if you can pick up your right foot off the floor. So I'm coming to the ball of the foot. Notice how I didn't lean or kick my hip out, which is often what happens in many balance poses in yoga. I'm going to try to stay level. My left glute is really hugging strong, that neutral position. I have the chair there if I need it. A very slight shift, and see if you can come up to the very tips of the toes. Remember, you can stay on the ball of the foot, load your base leg, and then maybe hover the right leg. Hips stay level. Okay, glutes are still engaging, that neutral leg is still working hard. Notice how my left side is pretty stacked. Now when you're ready, I can stay with my hand on the chair, flex your right palm like a pizza platter is on it, and press it up. Drop your shoulder and now press down with your opposite hand, like I'm pushing the ceiling up and the floor down, or I got that palm on the chair. Find a focal point and breathe. Soft face and eyes. If you need to have that toe on the floor, no one said you had to be the most advanced, and this isn't advanced. This is just challenging balance, okay? Work at your level. Work in a way that uses the right muscle. It's not about the right pose. Okay, if you need to take a break, set that leg down. Otherwise, one arm shifts to T or both arms shift to T with the right foot flexed. Kick it out laterally. Externally rotate it so the toes and knee point you, none of this. And lift it as high as you can, staying vertical. Look at my left side, it's still vertical. Breathe, I can be here. Lift, lift, lift. All of those leg muscles, you should not feel your hip flexor. Otherwise that leg's too much externally rotated. Stay with me now. Let's see if we can tip. Tip, tip, tip. I can still use the chair. I can even use my fingertips on the chair. Stay inside the toaster. Let's go 5, 4, you can totally do this. 3, I don't care if you're here. Okay, 2, and 1, down slow. Whew. Bend the knees, arms come up. Exhale, hands to prayer. One more time, bend the knees, arms come up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Whew, nice work. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. All right, same thing. Feet are lined up, neutral legs, pelvis tips, feeling that right glute kick in. We want to avoid the lean. I want you to focus on building hip and leg strength, truly hip and leg strength. Staying stacked, slowly lift that left heel. I can stay here. I'm going to try to keep as much or minimal of a lean as I can. Pick it up to the toe. Now I really feel my glute kicking in. And you should never feel like the knee locks when that external rotation is there. And then maybe, just maybe, float the foot without leaning back. Belly is strong, body is tall. When you're ready, right hand flexes down, push down on the floor, shoulder down, opposite arm pushes up, and really reach like your life depended on it. Hips are level, breath is calm. Okay to be here, it's okay to be on the chair. Do not let the mind kick in and say, oh, you're good, or you're bad, or this is hard, or this is easy. It's just different. It's new. All right, here we go. Arms to T. Use the chair as needed. Kick the leg out to the side. If you can, glance over at that leg. It shouldn't be forward and it shouldn't be rotated out. We're trying to use our true lateral hip muscles. Now pull your belly in. Kick up with the heel. Let's go 5. It's okay to be here. It's okay to be here. 4, 3, 2, and now tip, 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 tip. Breathe. The chair is there. Find that focal point. You got it. You're almost there. Now is not the time to give up. When the mind says no, the body can usually go a little bit longer. And exhale, lower down. Arms come up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Nice job. All right, take a seat on your chair. I'm actually going to sit sideways because it's a better visual for you. Now we're going to balance with the core to wrap up our practice today. And as you stand, this is not standing, this is sitting. As you sit nice and tall, I want you to be kind of in the middle of the chair. By all means, hold on to, I'm actually going to scooch a little bit further forward, hold on to the edges of the chair as long as you need to. This is what I call core hover or core balance. Coming up to the tips of the toes, your back is nice and long. And as you sit nice and tall, lift one leg off the floor. Notice your core muscles automatically kick in. And then try to lift the opposite leg off the floor, hugging your core muscles tight. Try not to round or collapse in the lower back. Now I can just lift one leg, or I can lift both. I'm going to try to flex the feet, And hold on if you need to at any point in the chair. If you're really feeling pretty savvy here, chin stays level, bring your arms out in front, or sit super tall, woohoo, which is my favorite, and bring your arms overhead. Hold and breathe. It's okay for things to be challenging, okay? Stop telling yourself they're too hard. Breathe. This is you using your muscles in new ways. Nice calm breath. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Whew, shoulders up to the ears, relaxing down and back, sitting nice and tall. Let's rotate to the right. Left hand on the outside of the thigh, opposite hand behind, drop the shoulder. Nice and tall, and just slowly rotate. Belly, ribs, shoulders, head and neck. Look over the shoulder, hold it 3, 2, 1. And then same thing opposite side, just nice calm breathing, inhale. And then turn from the belly, ribs, shoulders, head and neck. And then back to center. Nice job. Legs come nice and wide. Lean forward, press the thighs open. I'll turn towards you. Press the thighs open and just lean forward. Get a nice little hip stretch after those balance poses. Nice long spine. Rise up nice and slow. Great job. Never let what your mind says get in the way of doing things you know are good for you. A little bit of this balance practice implemented every single day, you're going to see a difference in how you move, how you balance,